In olden times, when wishing still helped one, there lived a king whose daughters were all beautiful. But the youngest was so beautiful that the sun itself, which has seen so much, was astonished whenever it shone in her face. Close by the king's castle lay a great dark forest. Under an old lime tree in that forest was a deep well. When the day was very warm, the king's child went out into the trees and sat down by the side of the cool fountain. When she was bored, she took a golden ball, her favorite plaything, and threw it up on high and caught it. Now it so happened on one occasion that the princess's golden ball did not fall into the little hand she held up for it. It missed and landed on the ground beyond, rolling straight into the water. The king's daughter followed it with her eyes, but it vanished. The well was deep, so deep the bottom could not be seen. At this, she began to cry, and she cried louder and louder, and could not be comforted. And as she wept, a little voice said to her, "What ails you, king's daughter? You weep so that even a stone would show pity." She looked around to see where the voice came from and saw a frog, stretching its big, ugly head from the water. "Ah, old water splasher, is it you? I am weeping for my golden ball, which has fallen into the well. Be quiet and do not weep. I can help you. But what will you give me if I bring your plaything up again?" "Whatever you will have, dear frog. My clothes, my pearls and jewels, and even the golden crown which I am wearing." "I do not care for your clothes, your pearls and jewels, or your golden crown. But if you will love me and let me be your companion and playfellow, if I can sit by you at your little table and eat from your little golden plate and drink from your little cup and sleep in your little bed, if you will promise me this, I will go down below and bring your golden ball up again." "Oh yes, I promise you all you wish, if you will only bring me my ball back again." But she thought to herself, "How the silly frog does talk! All he does is sit in the water with the other frogs and croak. He can be no companion to any human being." The frog, having received this promise, put his head into the water and sank down. In a short while, he came swimming up again with the ball in his mouth and threw it onto the grass. The king's daughter was delighted to see her pretty plaything once more. She picked it up and immediately ran away with it. "Wait, wait! Take me with you! I can't run as you can!" But what good did it do for him to scream his croak, croak after her as loudly as he could? She did not listen. She ran home and soon forgot the poor frog, who was forced to go back into his well again. The next day, she was sitting at the table with the king and all the courtiers, eating from her little golden plate. Suddenly, something came creeping splish-splash, splish-splash, up the marble staircase. When it had got to the top, it knocked on the door and cried, "Princess, youngest princess, open the door for me." She ran to see who was outside, but when she opened the door, there sat the frog in front of it. She slammed the door shut in great haste, sat down to dinner again, and was quite frightened. The king saw plainly that her heart was beating violently. "My child, what are you so afraid of? Is there perchance a giant outside who wants to carry you away?" "Ah, no, it is no giant, but a disgusting frog." "What does a frog want with you?" "Ah, dear father, yesterday as I was in the forest by the well, my golden ball fell into the water. Because I cried so, the frog brought it out again for me. And because he so insisted, I promised him he should be my companion. But I never thought he would be able to come out of his water. And now he is outside there and wants to come in to me." In the meantime, it knocked a second time and cried, "Princess, youngest princess, open the door for me. Do you not know what you said to me yesterday by the cool waters of the well? Princess, youngest princess, open the door for me." Then the king said, "That which you have promised, you must perform. Go and let him in." She went and opened the door, and the frog hopped in. He followed her, step by step, to her chair. There he sat and cried, "Lift me up beside you." She delayed, until at last the king commanded her to do it. Once the frog was on the chair, he wanted to be on the table. And when he was on the table, he said, "Now, push your little golden plate nearer to me that we may eat together." She did this, but it was easy to see that she did not do it willingly. The frog enjoyed what he ate, but almost every mouthful she took choked her. At length, he said, "I have eaten and am satisfied. Now I am tired. Carry me into your little room and make your little silken bed ready, and we will both lie down and go to sleep." The king's daughter began to cry, for she was afraid of the cold frog. She did not like to touch him, and now he was to sleep in her pretty, clean little bed. But the king grew angry. He who helped you when you were in trouble ought not to be despised by you afterwards. So she took hold of the frog with 2 fingers, carried him upstairs, and put him in a corner. But when she was in bed, he crept over to her side. "I am tired. I want to sleep as well as you. Lift me up, or I will tell your father." At this, she was terribly angry. She took him up, intending to make him be quiet. "Now will you be quiet, odious frog?" But as she held him, she remembered her father's words and her promise. She felt ashamed. With a deep sigh, she closed her eyes tight and did not throw him, but instead gently placed the frog on her own silken pillow, as far from her as possible. But when he fell down upon the soft pillow, he was no frog. He was a king's son, with kind and beautiful eyes. He, by her father's will, was now her dear companion and husband. He told her how he had been bewitched by a wicked witch, and how no one could have delivered him from the well but herself. And he told her that tomorrow they would go together into his kingdom. Then they went to sleep. The next morning, when the sun awoke them, a carriage came driving up, pulled by 8 white horses. They had white ostrich feathers on their heads and were harnessed with golden chains. Behind the carriage stood the young king's servant, Faithful Henry. Faithful Henry had been so unhappy when his master was changed into a frog that he had caused 3 iron bands to be laid round his heart, lest it should burst with grief and sadness. The carriage was to conduct the young king into his kingdom. Faithful Henry helped them both in and placed himself behind again, full of joy because of this deliverance. When they had driven a part of the way, the king's son heard a loud crack behind him, as if something had broken. So he turned round and cried, "Henry, the carriage is breaking!" "No, master, it is not the carriage. It is a band from my heart, which was put there in my great pain when you were a frog and imprisoned in the well." Again, and once again, while they were on their way, something cracked. And each time, the king's son thought the carriage was breaking. But it was only the bands, springing from the heart of Faithful Henry, because his master was at last set free and was happy.